Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Hades 2. Here is our Arcana setup for the day. We are once again going to be doing a Fate's Whim run using the aspect of Mel. Let's go ahead and rank it up one.
Awaken.
That gives us 35 extra attack power and max life. Fine by me. We are going to be going for a... I feel like I don't need to take this little heat. Why don't we do a Vow of Rivals and play with this? I guess it doesn't matter. I'll stick with Fang so that we complete that prophecy. Works for me. 2 levels of Fangs. And send it to the overworld.
Olympus, here I come.
So once we have our starting commentary from whichever god we pick, I have one thing I want to follow up with from the prior episode.
You've seen it. Our mountain's like a cross between a luxurious palace and an impregnable fortress. The so-called legions of Kronos will be getting through these walls.
They might just damage a couple of them, but sure. All right, let's see. Title Ring it is, because I definitely don't want the other options. I could make an argument for Breaker Rush, but we'll take Title Ring. It's a high tier, and it inflicts Froth, although I guess Froth will work pretty well with our special. It won't work so well with our attack, but Melax is pretty boring in my opinion. It doesn't really do a lot to shine, frankly. It just gives you more HP and more damage on only your attack, mind you, not your Omega attack, I believe. Which is unfortunate, because objectively speaking, you don't really want to use the attack on the axe. It's too slow to be reliable. Which, oddly, it looks like we're shaping up to be a cast build. maybe not. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe I should have gone for Aspect of Chiron after all. More Poseidon, Hera's decent. Hestia can work. Apollo is fun. I think I'll go for Apollo just to get big AoE on the attack if I can. And maybe Hera on the special. That could work. Also, first off, let's go see Medea. I realize we have not gotten her keepsake, and we are still missing Eris's keepsake somehow as well. So those are the only 2 keepsakes we're missing.
Come closer.
How long have you resided here, Lady Medea? I thought all our forces fled once the city was overrun, but you seem rather comfortable.
Oh yes, all the death and panic made for many vacancies. I slipped in through the shadows soon after the city fell and remained, practicing, observing. Great Hecate has eyes upon the surface everywhere.
Are you some of her eyes? All right, Wealth from the Dead, slower range projectiles, or more max magic. More max magic might not be a bad option considering Omega attack is still probably the way to build in the long term. So either coin or max magic. I'll take max magic, I think.
As you desire.
I foresee it being good, especially if we can get a good Hephaestus boon if we're lucky enough. Anyway, so the thing I wanted to bring up from the previous episode that I want to expand on a little bit is the comment I made about VTuber appearances, how they're very dazzling to look at, but don't really offer maybe a lot of substance in the short term. I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that that's kind of by necessity. The willingness to engage with a VTuber often stems from first their outward appearance and their aesthetic. You say, oh, that's a cool design, let me find out more. So it's kind of like the cover letter to an application to try and get your attention, and I think that's important to acknowledge.
The Cyclops Polyphemus bars your passage, does he now? Don't know what good my light will do against the likes of him, though perhaps I can help get you there in one piece.
But I think, sure, that's the way to get someone to engage with that form of entertainment, but there's got to be more to it after the fact. If I just go to a VTuber and they're a monotone, uninteresting character, like I don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a good monotone. I offer it myself every now and again, but if they don't offer a lot of substance beyond their aesthetic, there's eventually a loss of interest, you know? And I think in the case of Rune Factory Guardians of Ozma, they do a pretty good job of maybe having an aesthetic. I think another important thing to say is, does that aesthetic actually inform you a little bit more about the character, perhaps? Like, hold on, I'm gonna wait for this to fall. Where's the projectile? Okay, I thought it did a big AoE shockwave, but I guess I'm just expecting Typhon mechanics to apply down here.
A boon.
Traveling this way again, are you, my dear? Doubtless to put the nonsensical theories of your Titan grandfather to the test. If you detect even a whiff of lies, do tell. Even if we're to be merciful, we still mustn't be fools.
What do lies smell like? Burnt rubber, perhaps? All right, excellent. We got her special. I'll take that very gladly. Any bonus rooms? 1 bonus room. Oh, 2 bonus rooms. Excellent. So, yeah, so I think if the goal is to get your attention and get your interest in, like, the shortest form, then the character designs, even as over-designed as they are, do a pretty good job. And I think that's the important thing to recognize about VTubers is the goal of that aesthetic is often to get someone's attention, get their interest, and then build upon it with whatever they offer on their channel after the fact. And that's fine. That is exactly how I think, unfortunately, it's the same idea with a YouTube thumbnail. A thumbnail has to be appealing, it has to attract attention, it has to dazzle, it has to cause intrigue and make you want to click on the video. It makes you want to interact with the character, in the case of the designs of Rune Factory's characters. And I think we go hammer, HP, and then I don't see a good spot for Hestia on this build, so hammer, HP, Bellini maybe? Maybe Hermes, I don't know. We'll definitely take hammer and HP and I'll go from there. So the question is, like, what does the outward appearance inform you about the character? That's the next step. It's not just does it dazzle, does it intrigue, but does it tell you about who the character is, what the character is, what they stand for? And I think if I examine it more closely, I bet a bunch of the characters in Rune Factory Guardians of Ozma does do that. I'd probably have to think more carefully in some aspects, but in others I definitely see it. I think the best examples would probably be some of the Winter Village characters and then Chuilong. The reason for that, so let's look at them objectively. So we have Pilika, for example. She is a hunter, and so who lives in the Winter Village. He wears very thick clothing that looks like it's from animal pelts. It makes sense. She's a hunter. Let's see. Hell Splitter sounds kind of fun. This could be both. Big AoE would work. Attack faster would scale well with Mel. I think we're gonna go with the 300 power Mega Chop and see if we can make it work. Yeah. We're gonna do it. Big Mega Chop.
Further refined.
Whoop, bam. Okay, so it's very slow. I have to be careful of that. But I'm pretty sure I can wind it up and then dash. Okay, yeah. So that's how we play. We wind it up and then dash into enemies and hope that I don't get hit in the process. Definitely gonna need that HP to keep us alive then. So Pilika is a hunter. She lives in the Winter Village, so of course she would be kind of adorned with animal pelts. She'd need to dress warm. She has a very spiritual, not necessarily spiritual look, but kind of an appreciation for life and not hunting beyond the need for survival that I don't know if it's as well represented in her character design, but I could probably look a little deeper and try to find it. But I think she's at least a good superficial representation of, yeah, winter, a character who has to survive the cold and also hunts, and therefore wants to use every bit of the animal that she claims, and so using their pelts for her clothing makes a lot of sense. Another character kind of in the same vein that I was thinking of is Chuilong, like I alluded to. Chuilong, I think, is probably the best example of what I'm trying to go for here. And the reason for that is, so Chuilong is, as far as we are made aware, a automaton. He's not actually human. He is a puppet created by some great master named Chuilong potentially in his image. And he's certainly uncomfortable with interacting with other people for a number of reasons, and not the least of which is he doesn't necessarily understand the nuances of human interactions. He is very confused by facial expressions, or he has a whole bit of dialogue about how watching someone eat to try and understand why they like the facial expressions they make while eating and such is an interesting point of commentary he offers about his character. And kind of a really good way of representing that in his character is that he wears very thick, pretty much he is covered from head to toe. You can't really see any part of his body, in part to hide the creases of his joint pieces. I suppose he wears gloves, he wears thick boots. He also wears a scarf that covers his mouth because he's not really good at facial expressions, both understanding others but creating his own as well. He's a very kind of muted character, and so it's a very interesting way to appreciate, or it's a very subtle but noticeable way of representing that he's not necessarily comfortable showing or making facial expressions because he hides his own. And then on top of that, the other thing I wanted to mention was, what was it? I mean, if you look at his eyes, you can see that there are gears in them. Somehow all the other characters in the world hadn't noticed that, I guess, but it's kind of obvious. So I don't know how they make a point of this being a landmark discovery for the main character, but I thought it was interesting there. The other thing that I wanted to say is, so I always found it odd that Chuilong looks like he's really built for Winter Village in terms of what he wears. He wears very thick clothing. And I always thought it a bit odd in that regard because he looks like he's dressed for winter living in the autumn village. So yeah, the temperatures are cooler there, but no one else is really dressing like it's cold. So I'd always wondered about that. And I think the reason for it, honestly, is because he has no body heat. And so a good way of kind of hiding that is to make it seem like he's always cold. It would make sense that if you touched him and he felt really cold, well, that explains why he's always so bundled up. He's trying to keep warm.
Let's have a look around.
Or maybe it's just he's covered his body so much so that no one can actually make physical contact with him to actually realize that he is that cold. Either way, it's another thing that kind of emphasizes what we find out about this character. All right, Demeter, you don't really offer anything too exciting here. I could argue for steady growth because it's early enough in the run we can get a couple rarity ups. Alternatively, I could see Arctic Gale just for a good, reliable source of origination. Honestly, I think origination matters more than steady growth here. Steady growth is funny, but it's, I'm still taking it. I'm gonna still take it. I'm lame. No, I'm not lame. I'm meme-worthy. All right, let's send it to the Cyclops.
You again? Just wanted to be left alone. Moved to the countryside, quiet life of the shepherd and all. Only for you to drag me out of retirement.
Are you sure it was Kronos who did that, considering you're working for him?
I've done no such thing. I'm going to the docks. You're choosing to try and stop me when you could be tending to your sheep instead.
Oh, I'll tend to them all right. But in order to do that, I gotta tend to the likes of you first. Just like I used to in the good old days.
You tended to the gods in the good old days? Out of curiosity there? Alright, so our fully charged Omega attack does somewhere in the realm of... That was about 600 damage? Oh, well, I think that was a lucky crit. I'm not 100% sure, but our base attack just did 1500. Yeah, I think our attack just... Oh, you know what? It must have been origination popping. Do I actually have a way of getting origination popping? Right, I have Hitch. Okay, so let's see. If I tag you with that, I tag you with this, I tag you with the special, and then give you one big pop. Yeah, we do 1,000 damage in one attack. That's pretty nuts. Okay. I guess if we're gonna go a Mel build, this is the hammer for it.
All tired out.
You know what? This would be a good time to take the aromatic file so I can try and rank up the attack. It will inevitably hit the special, but one can dream. One can absolutely dream. All right, let's see if we can make it happen. So I need to take it before I drink from the fountain here. Let's see. So aromatic file is this one? Yes. Restore 20% extra HP, and one of your common boons turns epic instead. So it's either going to hit... If it hits Cinerary Circle, I'm going to be so mad, man. Well, it hit the special, which was the other unfortunate possibility. Oh well. At least we're doing more damage with the special every time I consider tossing it out, I suppose. Yeah, so I think that's really the main thing I wanted to say. Is just like it's not just about the dazzle effect. The dazzle effect serves its purpose and it's important, but I think this is an instance where Guardians of Azimuth outperforms Fire Emblem Engage a bit because, well, like I said, there's a little bit more substance to the characters once you get to see them in their interactions with others. And I feel like Fire Emblem Engage particularly suffered because it just constantly bombards you with new characters, so you never really get time for one character to really breathe outside of their quote-unquote bonding interactions. They're like, what are they? I'm forgetting the words. The little story bits that you get of characters that you've used a bunch. Born Gain sounds good. We'll take Born Gain. And I don't know, the thing, it felt like the characters of Engage were very focused on being a trope. They have like one or two very defining character traits, and that's all you get out of them, because you need to have like a very clear sense of what this character's about if you're only going to get to interact with them for a very short period of time. And there didn't really feel like there was a lot of visual cohesion between the characters' designs either, unfortunately, if they came from the same nation. Maybe a little bit. I'd have to re-examine. It's been a while since I've played Engage. Like, it's not to say Engage is a bad game, I just think it does its characters not nearly as well as some of the other games I've played. That's all I mean to say. I feel like, for example, Three Houses had really strong and engaging character writing, and I really appreciated that about the game. I feel like a lot of the character motivations are very clearly set up, and if they're not, they develop over time. You get more understanding of what these characters are about, and it makes them implicitly more interesting than what base impression might give.
There's an underworld button knowing about. You tell him I said hey? We've not collaborated much as before, what with everything of late. I miss those times.
Let's see, success rate. Do I have anything success rate would hit? I feel like I must, because that's why it's showing up, right? I guess Froth. Oof, yeah, Froth. So 25% chance, so that would be a 75% chance instead for enemies to take a whole bunch of extra damage every time I hit them. I mean, of these options, I think Quick Buck is just too good to pass up. 140 coin, 40% more gold all around. Just a good time. We're gonna go for Demeter here because Weed Killer will up the damage on our Omega attack. May as well go for that. Only seems reasonable. And if not, we can try and get Arctic Gale for our bonus effect on the cast to further benefit our ability to proc origination.
There.
All right, Demi, what you got?
Olympus, I accept this message.
Frigid Rush, Arctic Gale, Weed Killer. Okay, okay, 110% extra damage on the Omega attack. Now we're in contention for who's going to do more damage between base attack and Omega. We'll take the Mystery Boon.
Delivery coming soon.
I want to buy this HP. I feel like I could use it, but looking at my HP and my number of Death Defiances, it seems largely wasted. We're going to save our coin for a God Boon. But I guess I'll kind of just go into which characters I liked again a bit more. Aye! Silk of Spider, Tooth of Shark, Ray of Light, and Mote of Dark. Gnocchi is a tiny shark. On the pedestal, a cat I put.
Think afar. Seal the contents in a jar.
It's me, but I have another rhyme. Okay, it's a jar. Making puns, you'll go far. Okay, good enough.
Olympus has been better recently, as I opt to see it clear. No trace of the monstrosity you faced before.
You have trauma, you have scar.
Traces of Typhon do remain, though they are nearly imperceptible. But they can be destroyed.
And you are headed to the mountain to achieve just that. Typhon was not exactly a natural being. That is what distinguishes a monster from a beast. So I shall not lament his passing, nor shall anybody, I expect.
All right. Ooh. Okay. Primal psychic connection for animal spirit. What familiar are we using? We're using Gale. Or randomly draw one of your active vows removed from this night. We have no vows going other than things, and I kind of want it for the prophecy, so I guess we'll take the animal connection now. So we get 6% extra dodge chance and move speed. Okay, works for me.
Isn't it marvelous?
It is marvelous.
It's too much of a mess.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to show off my house if it was a hot mess too.
Farewell.
Bye. So, all right. So the next two characters that were introduced that I think are worth talking about, well, I guess are romantic candidates. Maybe not my favorite characters, to be honest. Are going to be Mauro and Hina. So let's talk about Mauro first, because he is a lot. He is a very loud, very energetic, if a dog was given human form kind of character. Very friendly, very outgoing, very maybe. I'd say lacks a little bit of sense of self-preservation would probably be the place to start for that. But he means well. He's just a lot. He's so much. He constantly shows up, and I'm gonna be honest, he's one of the characters I look forward to seeing the least in any individual cutscene, just because he is so loud. He does the trope that I really hate that is kind of common in Rune Factory games, but just common in these life sim games as a whole, I would argue. Maybe I'm being generalizing a little too hard here, but it feels like it's more common than I like it to be, of the foreign stereotype who is just likes to say foreign words and say things in an accent and be very energetic, and I'm not opposed to having accents or foreign influence, inspiration, foreign sounds in a game's voice direction. It's just he's the sort of that's like he sounds like it sounds almost like he's faking it. He sounds like he's trying really hard to sound European because it sounds cool, rather than it being his identity. It feels like appropriation rather than respect, I guess is how I would phrase it, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. And like, he's clearly, I think he's supposed to be Italian is my guess, but I don't know, it comes off as just kind of annoying. And I don't think it makes me like his character very much, unfortunately, to discredit Mauro. I do feel that way a fair bit. And like he is a good person. He really cares about those around him. He goes out of his way to try and take care of people. Hi, Heracles.
Not much room here to maneuver, so best stay far afield of my club.
Sir, you're the one who dropped on top of me.
Stand clear.
Anyway, I have a lot of AoE. He's not getting these kills from me. Like, especially if they all walk towards me, I'm just gonna get the kills before he even gets a chance to claim them. Not a fan of these enemies that have shields until the other enemies around them are dead. Where is this last enemy? Heracles, where is it? Lead the way. Wait, like actually. Oh, okay. We're done. That was weird. That was weird.
Sir, what are you doing in the middle of the rift of Thessaly? How did you even get here? Although you must be a powerful swimmer.
That makes sense. He does have a swimmer's bod.
I'm proficient in a wide variety of athletics since you mention it. Swimming, leaping, striking things with clubs.
Punching, kicking, screaming.
So this is part of your patrol path. To think, my journey could have been even more infested with foes if not for you.
But if you really want to know where Heracles shines truest in the Olympic Games, he is a phenomenal figure skater.
Much would be different if not for me, though you're one of the few I've met of late to admit it. Fair voyaging, sister.
Alrighty. I don't know if I actually got the end of room reward or not. I got the coin, but
Losers.
whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, for a brief second, I thought we were getting another, like, an Icarus encounter there because the screen kind of came out of focus and slowed down. But I think I must have just, oh, I must have wandered into that. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, what is Icarus doing here in the same room as Heracles? I don't think that's possible. Wow, we are already on to Eris, aren't we? We're making good time. We're making very good time. All right, let's see. What have we got here? Mystery boon. If you don't... Actually, I'm going to take the palm first. Let's see if we can get on the attack. Of course we can't. I guess I'll put it on a weed killer. And then... Hello, Demeter. Plentiful forage, local climate. Your Omega casts deal more damage. If you are in the binding circle, the damage is doubled. That would work really well for Poseidon's cast because it's already got very good base damage, but I think I'm going to take Frigid Rush just so we have a very reliable source of origination going. The other two aren't that appealing to me, honestly.
Hermes wanted me to tell you, hey, my lord. A message he'd surely deliver himself if he could, though he seems well enough.
And now Charon will say his equivalent of hey back.
Of course, my lord.
We'll tell him for sure, don't you worry.
Now take me to the coast.
Take me to the beach.
Oh, it's you!
It is me. That's what Cersei
Bill?
said.
Can't always tell if you're stubborn or just plain, you know. Not that it matters either way.
Gay? Is she calling us gay? Because, I mean, I think Mel goes both ways in this story.
You're standing between me and my objective, Eris. Or floating. The point is, sooner or later, you'll come to understand that's a mistake.
Don't worry, Eris. I'm sure you're someone's first choice in terms of romance in this game. I'm sure.
Oh, but we all make mistakes, right? Neither one of us would be here otherwise. So you ready now or what? Let's have some fun.
I bet if they invite you to the bath, you splash the heck out of Mel. All right, let's see how much this damage does. 1400, 1435, okay. One more. 1370, okay, so we're not phasing her. Is that, it might be because I didn't have origination going. I'm not sure. Well, that's only 43 because she had the phase shield on her, unfortunately. All right, here, let's try again. Hit her with the hitch, toss this on her, and then one of these. 806, okay, wait, hydraulic might must have worn off. I wanted to see what our max hit was, but it looks like our Omega attack is winning in terms of overall DPS, which is fine. It's kind of what we expected.
Here it comes.
Oh wait, you know what? I can charge up an Omega Special while you're doing your wasting my time thing. It didn't actually do that much, so probably not worth it. We're still hitting for a very solid 1,000 damage every attack though, so I can't complain too badly. Certainly took more damage than I strictly needed to. I think she blocked that, but I almost timed it perfectly. Uh-oh. One. Come here, Eris. I got a big smack for you.
Cold darkness. Ugh.
Ice Dark type, Weavile. I love how I can just pop out a niche Pokemon knowledge. Weavile's typing is not that niche. All right, what do we got? Oi.
Ah, my niece. You ought to know that elder goddess Demeter and I, we may jeer and jest at one another, but it's never out of spite. Isn't that right, dear foster sister?
Probably shouldn't call your sister old, my friend.
Oh, Poseidon, you needn't lie to young Malinois like that. It sends a terrible impression, and may make her hold you in as much contempt as do I. But let's cooperate for now. Why not?
Yeah, Demeter isn't old in the slightest. All right, natural selection. The boons in your leftmost column gain 8 levels spread across them. I mean, it is an unimpressive boon, but if it hits the attack, we win. It gave us 2 levels on the attack, I think, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Looks like it only hit the sprint boon once, which is good because we don't need it on the sprint boon at all. Not looking forward to using Demeter's pardon me, Demeter's dash for a dash only run in the future. That's going to be a rough one. That is for sure. Let's see. I think do we take the calling card at this point? I mean, what else do I have? I'm thinking about taking some keepsakes just to level them up at this point. But why don't we go with the calling card because it's fun. We're having a fun run. May as well stick with that vibe. Let's see. I have so much coin at this point. I will take the free HP, but I don't feel like I strictly need it. I feel like we're going to heal it back up with the Centaur Hearts and everything else we come across with the rest of the run. Pardon me, gentlemen. Gentle satyrs, rather. Are satyrs gentle to Kiwi? I guess the ones in Dionysus' club are pretty gentle. They seem like they're just there for a good vibe. All right, let's see if we can roll another attack hammer. That sounds like a good time. Okay, anyway, so I was going to talk about more Guardians of Ozma characters now that I've kind of said my piece about the follow-up message. So let's see. Right, I was talking about Maro. I mean, Maro's all right, but if I'm going to give him a rating, he's going to be a solid, like... Honestly, I think out of all of the dateable characters, he's the one I want to see in my town the least. Because he's loud and he means well, but he's just... Every time I see him in a cutscene, I'm just like, oh, you're here. Oh, what are you going to say? Why are you... He's nosy. He doesn't respect personal boundaries very well. I think he's nice, so I'm going to give him a generous 3. Teething Marauder. Your attacks also deal 60 damage to surrounding foes for each and every strike. Or Rapid Hack, 30% attack speed. I'll take the Prophecy, but Rapid Hack probably is better here. The fact that this works on the Omega Special means we're going to be doing an extra 60 damage for every Omega Special, so I think that's pretty strong. And now we'll go for Apollo. We aren't set up for his Legendary, so there's no way of hitting twice with our Omega attack. Not that I know how that works with the axe in particular. These guys and their shields, man. Not my favorite enemy to contend with. I mean, I think I've expressed my discontent in both Hades 1 and Hades 2. Things that have shields just don't mesh well with my brain in this game series for some reason. Also, a thing I discovered by listening to a recently posted speedrun that got the Underworld to a sub 5-minute run. The RNG in this run was insane, as was the mastery of the mechanic. They used they didn't use Medea for this one. They used Aspect of Mel on the Ardent Skull. And I've been singing the praises of the Ardent Skull Mel aspect for a long time. I love it. It's so strong. So, Tropical Cyclone. While standing on gusts, you fire random gales every 0.3 seconds. Okay, works for me. That is definitely something we'll be aiming to get when we do the Demeter only dash run. That duo boon is going to be really kind of the core of our damage, frankly, I suspect. We run around and just shoot gales everywhere. All right, I'm going to take these guys out first. But anyway, so yeah, so I would give Maro a generous 3, maybe a 4 if I'm feeling it on a good day. I will say his final bit of bonding quest did turn me around a little bit. Like he very much treasures the people he is around. He treasures the memories he makes with them. He's not a bad person by any stretch of the imagine. He's just a lot, and he's more than I want to contend with. I could picture him just having a horrible time, like causing horrible times for characters around you. And like if you're the sort that's conscientious to other people's feelings in a situation, like overly sensitive to someone else's feelings in response to people you're with, he's probably not a great choice. Well, we just got 50 max HP. We are a tinky Mel. We are a very tinky Mel. Hello, Dio. What have you got for us today?
So you know what I say? I say, Dad, what if I just don't want to? What? Oh.
He just tells Zeus he doesn't want to. I unfortunately cut off his conversation, but oh well. What have you got today?
Just how long have you been feasting anyhow? Here in this spot, I mean. Night after night, you're going at it like there's no tomorrow.
As far as how long he's been feasting, probably since the day he was born. As far as this spot, well, I think this game came out in August.
Mel, baby, just call me Dionysus if you please. The Lord thing doesn't suit me yet. As for how long we've carried on like this, I've no idea. A while, probably. Might be a new record. Sure you don't want to join?
Actually, no, I have distinct memories of playing this game in a hotel. It might have been September when they released this section? No, the whole game came... Kiwi, for me, time is an illusion and I don't understand it at all, so I'm not gonna even try and guess when it happened. Let's see. After each encounter restores some HP you took in that encounter, 50% of lost life. That bounce back is pretty nuts. We don't need it. I'm gonna take Drunken Stupor. How do we rarefy it? So now we do, how much is this? 4 seconds. So that's 250 damage. This does 1,000 damage every time I hit a new enemy with my Omega attack. That is going to demolish trash mobs. Won't help us against bosses necessarily, but that's fine.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about bosses, he says.
To put you out of commission again.
All right, let's do proof of concept here. What does this do to him? 1 Omega attack coming up. Boom, 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 boom. Bengali blocks the damage. Like, look at that DPS. Wow, that was half of Talos's HP bar in 1 Omega attack, pretty much. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to face take some damage to get it off, but it's like, yeah, we hurt. We definitely hurt. And then a big smacky wacky for the final hit. There we go. Smacky wacky, Kiwi, the big smacky wacky. We're basically doing the Chaos Trial. Like, I think it was one of the first Chaos Trials we did, where we had basically just all in on this aspect weapon. Let's see. Fine Line. I could see a world where Fine Line is amazing. And it's this world. This world. It's one of the best boons in the game for the builds that let you use it well. All right, perfect image. Ooh, actually, our chance to attack twice. I feel like that's too funny to pass up. We'll take it. And then another Demeter room. Sure, I'm gonna just stack as many boons as I can, because at this point we already are at the point where we have more than enough damage. But you know what's funny? More damage. Don't you know? We're almost one-shotting enemies on the 3rd floor, which is just kind of wild to think. And probably the only reason I'm not is because I don't have origination going on them. If I had a more reliable, oh my goodness. If I had a more reliable means of getting origination going, I would be melting these enemies. And what's funny is I have hitch on them, so like I can damage one and they all take damage from each other. Right, I don't need to be face tanking as hard as I am. I'm too busy. Oh my goodness. Maybe this isn't going as well as I want. I think, unfortunately, the attacks come out too slowly and these guys reposition with their shields, so I just have to be a little bit more fast. Cherished Heirloom. Keepsakes are stronger this night if possible, or Frosty Veneer take 10 less damage. I think Cherished Heirloom, because now we'll get another rank up with a Keepsake, and I don't know what I'm going to use for Typhon's floor, but I think that's pretty strong. Some of the Keepsakes are just too busted not to take, you know? Misa, or Madam, or a gender automaton. Alright, anyway, so I think that's all I have to say about Maro. He's just not a character I particularly jibed with. I think he's sweet, but he rubs up against me in the worst way possible. And then there's Hina, who's introduced at the same time with him. Hina is an archaeologist. She apparently is from, I think, Rune Factory 5. Like, she was a child character in Rune Factory 5, I believe. I know nothing about her existence prior to Guardians of Ozma because I have not played Rune Factory 5. And as I've mentioned before, looking at the reviews, I'm more likely going to play Rune Factory 4 again before I ever touch Rune Factory 5. Frankly, I'm more likely to touch Rune Factory 4 and 3, if not 2. Although 2 and 1 are unfortunately not accessible on Steam, so 3 and 4 are probably the games that I will play again if I'm going to play before Rune Factory 5. And
when you'll beware ahead. The Titan Prometheus is able to elude me, knowing that I'm focused on his vanguard forces, but he'll have no choice but to confront you if you press on.
He's the Titan of Foresight. He knows exactly what we're planning, doesn't he? And can retaliate accordingly.
He knows what is to come to some extent, yes. But he can only see outcomes, not read minds. And just because he knows you're coming doesn't mean he can stop you.
Oh, he definitely can't stop us. At least not on this heat. I don't know about future heats. We'll see. Let's see. Your casts also deal a burst of damage and make you deflect. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Divine Dash. May as well. It's pretty good here.
Steady, cousin.
How did she know we were gonna pick the most popular boon from Hades 1? After maybe Pressure Points and Hunter's Mark. Depends on how well you valued crit or not in that game, but if you learn to value crit, it didn't punish you for valuing it, that's for sure. I should probably use my Omega attack. It's just a little bit more reliable here once the armor's broken in particular. The thing is, our dash attack also it gets enhanced by a bunch of our boons, so it's pretty solid. Oh, right, I was gonna say, fun fact that I discovered watching that overworld speedrun, Utos here only spawns when you're outside, so you have no way of knowing whether a rune's gonna be outside or not, but if you've got RNG on your side, you'll always have a happiness in your soul running Olympus when you're in the indoor sections.
In the name of Hades.
And a degree of anxiety when you're not. Let's see, Tall Order would be pretty nasty if we could get it going. The dodge chance would keep us alive too, honestly. A 1.25% chance per boon to dodge sounds pretty good. the fact, especially considering we are face taking damage left and right. And a free extra 100 coin, which will be probably not quite that much, but still a fair bit. Keep my attack takes so long to come out that I'm unfortunately canceling it by accident. All right, we lost 6 coin, but still not bad. 132 coin, not bad at all. All right, give us the shop. So anyway, Hina unfortunately suffers from the fact that she was in Rune Factory 5, I think, because one of her most common comments is references to Rune Factory 5 that I have no frame of reference to. What is Seed? I don't know, but it was an important organization that probably was involved the main character. She often mentions that main character, the hero from her past village that helped a number of things. Attacks may inflict days. I like that. Yeah, let's take this. I'm not gonna rarefy it. I'll save the rarefy for something else. But yeah, it just she feels like
gods could learn something from mortals, you know. For all their many failings, they have an admirable tendency to cling to hope. A certain quality we deathless often lack.
Hope can be the salve for the naive. So many mortals hope they'll never die. A feeling born of delusion, fear.
I know I'm gonna die.
Yes. Mortals live short, painful lives. And even still they strive for something greater than they mostly can achieve. I fight for them. You gods fight only for yourselves.
It's weird. I'm weirdly at peace with the notion that I will die one day. I'm way more uncomfortable about the people I love and care about dying one day. I've had to have more conversations about that than I want to in my short period of time where those conversations have been relevant. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go grab this pot. 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 3. And an Omega attack charged up to just smackety the Titan of Foresight and Flame. Bail out here. And we have pretty solid DPS. That's how the last couple runs have been, frankly. We've just had really good boon synergies. Oh, come on. Don't run away from me. Yeah, unfortunately, like, I do have to risk getting hit in the face if I want to do these, the full brunt of my Omega attack, but I guess I don't have to use my full. Okay, good, on to the next phase. Again, forgive me if commentary has to pause a little bit. Here, I need to focus. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. And now charge up the Omega. And whoop, bam, 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 bam. Oh, he ran away. Lame. I think we just wail on him a little bit with the regular attack there. Whoop. Was that Atos? Yeah, that was. Okay. Silly bird. Silly bird! I tried to time my dodge with that, and I completely flubbed it. How did I not take damage there? Oh, dodge chance. I definitely deserve to take damage there. I think we finish him here if I get this charged up, and bam, 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 bam. There we go. Okay, didn't lose a Death Defiance, but I survived with 1 HP.
Gods never forgive. Why then should I? When I could fight instead.
Because you could be the bigger Titan.
Far worse awaits above.
So, anyway.
Did he know he'd lose?
Of course he knew. Back to Mel. Or back to Hina, rather. So my issue with Hina, unfortunately, started very early in the game. Like, this criticism comes from later on after having her bonding quests and, like, getting a sense that a lot of her personality and her values came from the fact that she had the relationship to the Rune Factory 5 game and main character. And in its own right, I'm not implicitly bothered by that. I just wish it wasn't, like, the only thing she talks about. Like, she's an archaeologist. There's so much they could do with her. We got Sudden Cleaver. What does that do again? Well, we're not going to use that. Oh well. Let's go ahead and buy a mystery boon. And, I'll buy the nectar, why not? We have an abundance of resources, I may as well spend some of it. And we're only going to get more on this floor in particular. There's a lot of gold to gain on the final floors.
Another possibility.
So yeah, the biggest issue that I had with Hina early on, and it's not her fault, it's not the voice actor's fault either, but the game has an unfortunate habit of having like only 1 or 2 sound files per for a number of things, and the character's little chuckle or a little comment that they make when you first greet them or start a conversation with them. So when you start by talking to the character, they say something. usually something short, and they might have a laugh or like a "Hey there, how's it going?" sort of line. And then you can go through different menus to do chat or hang out or ask question options sort of stuff. And Hina, as you cycle through her menu, will chuckle every time you go in and out of a certain option. And I did that in rapid succession a couple times, and I'm like, this is a very, very, very annoying laugh to hear in rapid succession. And unfortunately, that really did sour my overall impression of the character, which is, I never liked that notion of being like, your laugh is annoying, I don't enjoy it, so don't let me hear it anymore. Like, that feels too superficial, and like, I'm never going to, in real life, judge a character by how they sound and deter my interest in them because of how they sound laughing. If anything, I would always encourage laughter. I've never listened to a person in real life and been like, your laugh is really annoying, I don't like it, I don't want to be near you. And again, it's not even the voice actress's fault, it's no one's fault other than the development, or like the design, that if you cycle through the same option a couple times, you just hear the same sound effect, and that's the problem. Like, it was just that happened, and then every time I heard her laughter thereafter, that rhymed, it was just very off-putting, I guess. The reason, like, if that's my only gripe with Hina, then so be it, but it's not. It's, again, her character feels rather superficial, unfortunately. It didn't get the development I wanted. I wanted to see her be an archaeologist more. Like, we could have joined up with Mauro and gone on like a little archaeology hunt or treasure hunt. Part of Mauro's whole bonding quest line is we go on a treasure hunt and we don't necessarily find anything that we want to keep. Or we do, but he wants to return it, and he values more the memories of going on the treasure hunt than keeping the treasure, which I thought was a really nice little touch to his character. Hina just doesn't really get a lot that makes me enjoy her character, unfortunately. The one thing that stands out to me is that when I look at her pigtails, I think that's what they're called, her two twin tails, her hair, the tips of them that are tied off, they look like either like curtains, or honestly what I thought of was muscle fibers. Like, if you've ever seen a cross section of a microscopic muscle fiber, it reminds me of sarcomeres, and that shouldn't be the reason why I like a character, no? You know? I don't know. It feels kind of lame to bag on one character that I'm sure other people absolutely adore. But again, these are my superficial opinions based on my personal experiences with the game, and if you have differing opinions, they're totally valid and they're worth sharing. I think there's more than one way to enjoy this game, sure, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's great that someone can hate one character and love another. That's kind of how life should be, right? Not everything, we don't agree with everything that we're presented with, but it's nice to enjoy what we can. And differences of opinions are fun because you can share your own individual experiences.
Hear me on my authority.
But yeah, that's unfortunately my feelings about Mauro and Hina, introduced together and unfortunately not doing a great job for me to appreciate them. I would love to take back Burner. 161% more damage is amazing until you realize that you cannot backstab Typhon and it's useless. I'm going to save my rare fives and we're just going to take Supernova, I guess.
Sing, O Muse.
Okay. When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please. Okay, we're gonna stop now. Look, I'm gonna have to lower the volume on that in post, aren't I? Hello, Uncle Popo.
Wonderful. He can't sail to this mountaintop. Unless he fashions for himself a craft that sails on air, he shall be relegated to my waters. But how then did he get his goods up here?
So kind of just going on the thing that I appreciate, I was talking about in the early game, I may as well point it out with Poseidon. Like, he is god of water. How do they emphasize that in his character design? Ignore the trident with the fish scales on it and the fish tail on the center and the fish fins and like the fish eyes. Let's look at just his costume. He's got seashells adorning it, things that look like water droplets, little whales on his chest covering his nipples. His hair actually looks like water. It has like little bubbles that are sprouting off of it from his beard, it looks like. He's got seahorse, or I guess they're hippocampus, themed crown over his forehead. He's got shrimp-looking things, or more seahorsey looking. I guess they're still hippocampuses or hippos on his belt. There's just this whole aesthetic of the hippos were the things that drove his carriage, his chariots, to my understanding, or whatever form of transportation he rode. So there's clearly not only just reference to water and water themes, but also more of the mythos of Poseidon insofar as the creatures that are aligned with him. It's a cool little attention to detail that I Supergiant just does such a great job designing their characters. And we got another duo boon. Your effects from Fine Line and Ocean Spell have a chance to fire twice. Or do I just take Water Fitness and Face Tink? Yeah, we're turning Brain off. Water Fitness it is. 465 HP. We take this. We take this. We have 515 HP, and now Poseidon.
This message.
With Buried Treasure, Sea Star, Geyser Spout. None of these really matter. I guess I'll take this for the bones. Oh, and the Water Fitness. Yeah, and to activate Water Fitness for sure. All right, we got to rarefy whatever we get here, or we take Ripple Effect and Air. Oh wait, well, Ocean Swell. So we got the duo. No, oh shoot, we can't do it without the duo. So I guess we'll take the duo then. No rarefying at all. But we have 530 HP, 40 armor, and 3 Death Defiances. I think we just walk up to Typhon and we Unga Bunga his face to heck and back. And I think that's probably where I'm going to end my commentary about Guardians of Ozma today. I might pause commentary on Ozma for a little bit because I want to talk about the anime awards. I don't know when the next video is going to be recorded or go up, but I want to talk about the at least in terms of what happens. Oh, our dodge chance made that miss. That's funny. Sorry, Typhon, you didn't stand a chance. I want to talk about the anime awards in real time before they happen, even if the video gets uploaded after they happen. So that's probably the thing I'm going to talk about next, assuming I remember that I want to do that. I kind of have to. I'm honestly mulling over the idea of just having a separate video dedicated to the anime awards where I just go through the actual thing and show it. I don't know, Kiwi, is that something you're interested in? I'll have to ask you in post. But it's a thought I'm having. It'll let me gush about anime that meant something to me this season. Granted, I didn't watch a lot of incredible anime, I suppose, but I am curious to like see, are there things that are listed here that I would want to share with you? But I want to point out the fact that despite me turning the brain off and going Unga Bunga, that's the first red health damage we've taken this entire fight, and we're halfway through it.
We shall defeat you every single time, monster.
Maybe I don't need to take the Death card, the Death Arcana card nearly as much as I have been. But I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun to turn your brain off and do maximum DPS. I'm trying to think. So yeah, I think that might be what happened. I obviously have a lot more to say about Guardians of Ozma. I haven't completely finished the game, but I'm finished with the main story. I still have the one bonus dungeon that comes from marriage, which I haven't accomplished yet. I ended up choosing Matsuri, who I haven't talked about yet, and I'll explain why, but I had a really sweet series of interactions with her that just timed itself out really well, which just made the connection I had with the character all the better for it, I would say. Oh, it's one of you guys. Well, you have no armor, you're dead now. Sucks to suck. But yeah, I'm sure there are people who would be like, oh, Matsuri, she is such a lame character, why would you pick her? And you know what? To each their own. Again, just because I don't like Hina doesn't mean someone else can't. And same goes for Matsuri. I thought she was fun because she's a bit of a meathead, and, well, having had the events that happened, Kiwi has decided that she was the perfect choice for me because she's basically me. I choose Kiwi archetypes in real life, and I choose me archetypes in video games for romancing, apparently, is kind of the vibe that we're learning, which is maybe a little bit upsetting to hear. But I'll have to tell that story soon enough, but again, perhaps not in the next episode, but soon enough. What do you mean not again? This is the first time you've died if this is an alternate reality. Or I guess you could have been defeated in those. I don't know.
This is our time.
I have questions. No, it's not our time. It's an alternative time. We just made that clear, Mel. What are you doing? All right, Kiwi, what are we going to honor tonight for our boons? Because that was a very solid run. I think we just take all the things that made our attack special. So the aspect of Mel, the experimental hammer did nothing for us. Well, okay. Yeah, no, it did nothing for us. Never mind. Let's see. Our attack boon, our hydraulic might, our hell splitter. Man, we had so much magic by the end of this run. Weed killer. And then seething marauder. And is there any... I think we should honor the rare Hasty Retreat and Hereditary Bane, because they're kind of nuts. Or not Hereditary Bane, where is it? Drunken Stupor. A 3,000 damage on any enemy hit by our Omega attack basically meant everything died as soon as we touched it. And then a 30% dodge chance. Kind of nuts. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Whoop, 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 hold on. There we go. No, come back. There we go. Okay, and our maximum damage was mostly attack and Omega attack. Not a surprise there. A very solid run. All right, let's go say goodnight to the town, and then I'm going to make you a sweet potato and maybe record another one or do something together with you. We'll see.
It takes practically all night for the hard-toiling princess of the dead to clamber to the highest point upon Olympus. But as often is the case, her return trip flies by in no time at all.
Return to Shadow now.
Time flows freely forth. Time flows freely froth.
Another eventful night.
All right, Freenos, give us the good luck pets, please.
Glad to be back here with you. But it's a new night now.
Alrighty, let us brood a little bit.
The memory of your reunion, committed to canvas in such a beautiful way.
Dora, were we really away that long? This felt like a pretty fast run. I don't actually remember how fast it was, though.
Do you remember the name Heracles? The greatest half-god hero of the surface, slayer of the Nemean lion, and so on?
You know he slayed the lion because he wears the pelt.
Not really. But I hear the other shades go on and on about him every now and then. Why do you ask?
I mean, if you're into Moros's chest, Heracles also has a very nice chest. I don't know. I don't like Heracles as a character, I guess. He's fine in the game and in the world of the game, but he's not as attractive as Moros.
I encountered him. He's as big as they say, that much is sure. He has such a storied past. I thought maybe you'd recall one of the tales.
Well, you thought wrong, my friend.
Maybe you need a book about it. We can get Dora into reading. Let's see. So we seek to know he who rebels against the gods. I guess that's Heracles then? I guess that was Heracles. I'm not sure.
Something unusual occurred, Princess. The fated list scrolled to a point that caught my eye. What it said made little sense to me, though I'm implored to tell you. I see your spirit's glimmer as the metals underneath the earth.
Oh, Kiwi, we're finally... I think this is a new aspect weapon. I think we're finally getting a new incantation.
I see your spirit's glimmer as the metals underneath the earth. That sounds much like a waking phrase. Headmistress told me of them when she lent me the nocturnal arms. When you think on it, what do you see?
I don't actually know which weapon this is going to be.
A demon of some sort. A mask-like face in shadow. Some nocturnal realm, not necessarily our own. Who is this?
I'm actually not sure.
We'll soon find out, I think. Likely a bearer of the arms of night, but whether past or future, I can't say.
I'm excited, Kiwi.
I may have just fulfilled part of a prophecy in relaying those words. I trust they'll be of benefit, not harm.
Depends on who you ask.
I think so. I see your spirit's glimmer as the metals underneath the earth.
Oh no, Kiwi, I forgot to give Medea a nectar. I never got her keepsake, and we had a Medea room. I'm so dumb. And Eris isn't here, so we're still where we started off.
You shades.
Well done out there. We have a bit of a personnel problem with our Circe the Enchantress. Her isle is poised to survey our enemy's fleet, reports of which ought go directly to Odysseus. Except they go to me.
Well, maybe you're just not so familiar with Odysseus's history with her.
A gap in communication. By your leave, Headmistress, I can notify her of the proper protocol when next we meet.
I'm curious to see where they go with this.
You shall not speak of this to her at all. I raise the point so you can be aware. Circe has long been a valuable asset and ally. Your visits to her isle may help keep it that way.
Understood.
What you're saying is Circe might be a little temperamental. Less than she lets on in our interactions. Or more so than she lets on in our interactions with her.
As promised.
I think, knowing how these games go, I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point or another. Ooh, do I have enough garlic finally? Let's see. Garlic 1, garlic 2, garlic not, olives, mandrake, garlic, no olives. We are 1 garlic short, aren't we? Yep. Oh, well. Such is life. You know what? That is a metaphor for our relationship, Kiwi. There is never enough garlic because whenever we follow a recipe that requires garlic, we're always adding at least 1 or 2 extra cloves, aren't we? I guess even in this game, there's always a need for 1 extra clove of garlic. Oh well, we'll make it work in the next episode, I'm sure. I'm more interested in finding out what this new aspect weapon is, so let's... Odysseus, hurry up.
You know mortals better than anybody here. Prometheus claims that the gods are cruel, and that he fights not for the Titan Lord, but mortal kind. What do you make of all that?
Look, I've known mortals who think gods can be uncaring. Some of them defy the gods, even in death. Others understand that gods are everything, really. We have only this world, more beautiful than it is flawed.
You're speaking in the abstract. I want to know your personal opinion here, Odysseus. Are the gods in the wrong? Did we bring this on ourselves?
Yes and no.
My personal opinion is that gods and mortals are a complicated bunch, and that you shouldn't doubt yourself, lest you falter. If I felt you or the good witch were in the wrong, I'd tell you so.
Would you actually, though?
You swear to that?
Aye, goddess.
Well, I respect you for that, Odysseus, because not a lot of people would stand up to a god and tell them they're wrong. By the way, Nem.
Go cry to your headmistress Hecate. She's right there.
You first. Go cry to her and tell her you want more fun, more fighting, more retribution, if you will. All right. Let's say goodnight to Skelly and call it an episode.
For the silver pool.
We got a shade come all the way from Mount Olympus here.
Oh, do we? Which one? Oh, it's you. It's you.
I see you're getting acclimated to this place.
I like your fluffy hat. My good shade.
Safe and sound.
Alrighty, Skelly, what have you got to say?
The monstrous power of the Moonstone Axe is yours. There isn't much out there it couldn't chop clean through, including me.
It's got some heft.
Observe. Actually, it had even more heft on the last run. A shame you didn't get to see that, Skelly. Alright. So I guess I go here?
Ignium. I see your spirits glimmer as the metals underneath the earth. The hidden aspect of Supai.
Supai? Aspect of Supai, you have the Devil Sparks, which also enhance your Rush Boon. Rush Boon damage plus 10%. You're telling me there was a weapon that just made me do more dash damage. I knew of Supai as a weapon. I did not know how it works other than it benefits the dash, but now I do, and well, I sure chose the wrong weapon for a dash-only run. Plunge deep enough into the earth, and the demons therein will only grow stronger. Alright, well, we need a whole bunch of shadow to unlock this, so I guess I'm gonna go cook something up. And Kiwi, I'm gonna sign off here, so I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you are sleeping, I hope you are sleeping well. I love you, and I don't have enough faith fabric. And I will see you in the next one for some more Hades 2.